You join me today with my Citroen Dyane, which is currently in pieces because I need to stop the cylinder heads leaking. Heating system on one of these cars. Basically you've got this fan which spins round, cools the engine, but then the airflow is picked up by these heat exchangers from the cylinder heads, and that pumps through cardboard tubes, which I've removed, into the ducts, and that gives you heating. A very simple and very effective system. Problem comes when the cylinder heads leak. That effectively puts fumes into the air, and that's not so pleasant. You end up choking as you're driving along, and it doesn't smell very nice. It's also not very good for the engine. So I'm going to strip the heads off, which means removing the cowling, rock covers and the manifold, which is all of that, and then hopefully I can lap the heads in, and I'll tell you a bit later a bit more about that. Here goes. And here we go. And that's the cylinder head off. This one doesn't look too bad actually. Trying to see signs of obvious erosion. It looks like there's a bit just there. That's not looking too bad at all. I'll clean that up and get it back on. It might have a slight oil leak situation there, so it might need new seals here. Well, here we are. It's actually a few weeks later now, and I'm finally cracking on with the Dyane project. My beard probably looks different. It's been that long since I started this job. The main objective was to get new barrels, and in there, which you can't see, is a new piston. You can just see the back of it there. There's the gudgeon pin. These are from my friend Pete Sparrow. Really nice pistons as well, top quality. They've seen use in a race car apparently, and Pete actually honed the barrels with his honing bit of kit, so these really are good to go. The trick to 2CV, and Dyane in this case, pistons and barrels, is actually to get the piston in first, and Pete has got a proper ring compressor, so that was a piece of cake to do, and then just knock it out enough so that you can then get the gudgeon pin through the big end on the crankshaft, not the big end, the little end. So that's what I'm going to be attempting to do next. So I shall spare you the swearing. Hopefully the next update will be this engine looking a bit more complete. And there we go. One of the pistons is off. This is on the side that was causing trouble. There's a very manky piston crown on it. But it says 9 there, so it confirms it's a 9:1 compression ratio, which is what any Dyane should have. Right then, see if we can get a new one fitted. Now I've got the pistons off, I can see exactly what the problem is. You look at the ring here, this one, it looks like it's got a band in the middle of it. That's where the piston ring has actually been breaking up, and bits of that have helped score the barrel really quite badly. This is the good piston from the other side, and you can see that apart from the gap, which is an obvious part of a piston ring, it's continuous all the way around. So that one's far healthier. So this is why this job has got quite so involved. So where am I today with Project Dyane? I've got the barrels and pistons back on the engine. So there's the piston sitting in the new barrel. So now it's time to lap in the cylinder heads. And what do I mean by that? Well, here's my cylinder head, and you can see this inner surface just below my finger. That inner surface is what I need to lap in. So what I'm going to do is clamp this in a vise, give it a bit of a clean up, get a grinding paste out, rub an old finless barrel on that spot, and then clean everything up, and I can get the head back on with new seals. These are pushrod tube seals. You can see one of them's fallen out. Always best to fit new ones really, so I'm going to do that. With the engine all back together again, there it is. It's now ready for a fire up. Now I gave it a quick run yesterday just to make sure it's okay, but it's worth hearing again because it's on open headers at the moment. Let's see if she'll fire into life. Make sure she's in neutral. Here we go. Oh, close. This is it running with the exhaust back in place again. And here it's a bit tappy. It's a bit tappy because I run the valve clearances quite wide. That is better when you've got unleaded fuel.